I'm Linda. Glad to have you back. I'm going to be doing a recap on a painting I did last year, just for those who have maybe haven't seen it yet. It is a waterfall that's in Mount Rainier Forest. My friends Deb and Bruce Briggs did some traveling, took some beautiful photographs, and with permission, I painted this. So you're going to love it. The background started out with acrylic paint, which dries in a matter of minutes, and did the etch to lay out the bridge, some rocks, a little bit of the front there. And if you can pause and paint, I know you can do this one. So let's get started. So here are the oil paints I used. Acrylic black for the background, letting that dry completely. Liquid clear, Winton Newton oil paints, titanium white, lamp black, phthalo blue, Van Dyke brown, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, sap green, cadmium yellow, and red. And so I've prepared my canvas. There I'm making a wash. They call it a wash. It's with titanium white, adding a little bit of thinner to that. And I use odorless mineral spirits, and just to make a really light white wash out of that. Very light. It's going over the tops of these rocks along the edge there where I wanted it a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to take a Q-tip and just kind of go over the darker areas, like the lines in between those rocks. And I'll be doing that periodically over some of these rocks to bring out the light and the darker areas. But I'm going to take my whitewash and I'm going to go over the bigger rocks that are there, and wherever you think the rock wall there. Just going to put in some light areas. And again, with the Q-tip, I'm going to just bring out some of those darker areas. I don't want to destroy a lot of that white. So I want to keep some of that light, dark, and dark areas in there. So now I'm going into a little bit phthalo blue and white, making a really pretty light, pasty blue. It's so very light. There's one opening at the top there where I've got skies exposed. And I'm going to put a little bit of that blue in there. Very, very soft, soft blue. Got a little 1 inch there, so it works good. And then I'll take a little bit of shop towel and just buff a little bit of that out. And then I'll put some of that icy blue on the waterfall. I'm going to bring that all the way down, side to side on the bottom half. Now I'm going into a little sap green and black. I'm making a really dark green. And I'm going to start just tapping in where I think there's going to be trees in the background. There's a lot of trees back there. But I just want to put some color in there, little color. Just tapping some of those trees in. I've got a little fan brush. I think it's a number 4. It works pretty good. And I'll keep doing that, just touching all the treetops and the bushes, and just to give it some background color, because I'll be highlighting quite a few of those areas. So there I'm going at the top of the bridge there. There's on the right, there is a tree there, so I'm gonna make sure that's green. On the other side, I'm just tapping in. Okay, now I'm working on my wall going down. I put in some yellow ochre on a palette knife, and I'm just creating some different variations of light and dark there. Putting in some more down toward the bottom, just to putting some background color in. just here and there. And alongside of the left side of the waterfall, put a little bit there. That's a rocky type wall there. Okay, on the left, I am adding a tree, putting the trunk in. It's not a big tree, just a little one. In fact, I think I'm going to have a couple of them there. There's going to be pine trees that are coming out of that side rocky area. Also, I'm accentuating, putting some lines in for these big boulders that are beneath that bridge and alongside of that waterfall. Big old boulders, and it doesn't matter the patterns, it doesn't matter. It's just big old rocks. Got a liner brush with some black on it, and I'm just trying to shape out some rocks, boulders. Taking my palette knife, adding a little black under there, touching with white. I mean, just giving some light and dark. Need that light and dark. And going at the bottom of those big old boulders that are stacked there along that hillside. It's a beautiful area. I've never been there, but the picture that I'm looking at is just gorgeous. Christine Falls. So I'm just trying to build my uh, boulders that are laying in there. And then going into burnt sienna and just doing a little bit there for the mid section, just putting a little color in. There's going to be a lot of foliage over there, so that extra color in the background behind it will look really nice. Putting a little color at the base of those, I don't know what you call it. It's a big old rock there. Beautiful place, waterfall. And bringing it down toward the bottom. So I'm going into sap green again and putting in, now this sap green is darker. It's a darker green, put more black in it. And I'm putting in some pine trees, evergreens. I'm making a big old, adding some trunks way in the back, going straight up, tree trunks. In fact, you can use straight black if you want with these tree trunks, because you want them to stand out. So now I'm putting an evergreen on the far right there on the edge of that canvas with a fan brush. I'm just touching into sap green and a little bit of yellow. I'm just making like that evergreen is coming right out of right out into the canvas. It's right on the edge. And there's another tree next to that. Go side to side motion, rocking. I'm going to make a little evergreen there. Putting in some more foliage just on the top of the bridge. More evergreens on the left. Sap green with a touch of yellow. Just etching them in there. Shaping them. going by a photograph, so it takes a little time and imagination there as to where you think you should put things. But I'm going to put it evergreen right there on the side of the bridge. The base is gonna end up right there on those rocks. So it's just coming out of the rocks. Put another one, and that's sap green with a touch of yellow. More on the dark side. Those will be highlighted with cadmium yellow. But I want to make some pines coming out of those rocks. Now one there on the left, the one inside there is quite large. It's a bigger tree. And so I'm going to extend the boughs out quite a ways. Just tapping with my fan brush, trying to create some limbs, some boughs. And I have put liner brush. I made the stem of the tree, the trunk of the tree. You can just barely see it going up, and that's good. You don't want it you want it hidden, but not totally hidden. I'm putting another trunk in there, adding a little bit of yellow highlights on it. Okay, so now I'm gonna work on my water. And I've got a small brush. I've got a little bit of icy blue on that, same as the sky. Maybe a touch darker, but I'm just kind of zigzagging around on the bottom there. I want to create how the water is flowing. Starts out kind of flat, but then it angles to the right a little bit. I put some gray. I'm putting some darker gray, black and white, medium gray. So there's shadows in there. That's just a base color. Because when I put my white um uh, water lines in that, they'll show up really nice. So I'm putting a little darker blue in there, just here and there. Going up against, got the gray again. I'm just angling over, creating the water angles the way they're going. Okay, I'm up the top. Got a palette knife, got a little roll on there. I'm going to create a big waterfall. Some of those straight lines you can fix later. It's no big deal. You can tap those out. And I'm making some uh, little bit of splashes with a round brush. I just tapped it in some white with a little bit of thinner on it. And you get the nicest little splash, creating some water lines. Make make as many as you'd like there, actually. Now I'm going back on the toward the top, and I'm going to highlight some of those evergreens with more of a cad yellow with a touch of white. I want to highlight those, but it doesn't have to be solid. I mean, they can like be just kind of sporadic here and there. I'm gonna work my way down. There's like two, three, four trees there, so I'm gonna make sure I can find them a little bit. I don't want them to blend so you can't tell. So I'm just going to do here and there, highlight some of those vowels. I've got a little fan brush that works pretty good, number 4. I'll put a big one on the inside there toward where I'm going. I'm bringing some boughs out almost to the water. So I want that is going to be the biggest tree. And here and there touching with highlights, leaving some of that dark in behind. You don't want to cover that up. So now I'm putting some foliage on that rock wall. Little fan brush with cad yellow, touch of green, more yellow than green because I'm highlighting that. It looks like there's brush there growing on the stone wall. Just creating some little stringers, it's almost like moss. It's now there I'm using pretty much straight cad yellow and white. And putting some more foliage a little more down at the bottom of that rocky area. Just adding a little here and there, some highlights. Okay, so now I'm back in the water. I'm adding some, not boulders, but they're rocks, little black rocks that are sticking up. And that's with a liner. And just, you don't, it's so easy. Just kind of do a half moon like and pull a little bit, just touch and pull, and you'll make the nicest little rocks, ever so light. And going back down there on the shoreline, adding a few rocks and some things down there, dark and light. Okay, now I'm going to start working on the left side. On the side of that, there is a hidden evergreen that's branches are coming out of the side of that canvas. So I'm just tapping in sap green with a touch of yellow, kind of filling in there. Like there's an old evergreen that's showing part way. And it's going to go all the way down to the bottom, to the almost to the shoreline, but just tap that in. Lots of little stringers. And it's climbing up the wall. I don't know what they are, but they're like little mossy stringers that are growing on that wall. Boy, I almost see a finished painting here. I really love doing this one, and I hope you do too. So if you can pause and paint, follow me, share if you'd like. Until next time, happy painting and God bless.